Ladies and gentlemen and children of all ages, the play's the thing. With your host, Judy Sleed. Special guest, Tina Šaposhnik, world-famed artist, poet, and shopper. Judy.
Oh, that was such a beautiful introduction. Thank you so much. Welcome everybody for the Plays the Thing, and today my playmate is Tina. How are you?
I'm ready to play.
So, you are so talented. I see all these things from out of space. I'm just curious how you happen to concentrate on this type of art.
When I was a little girl, I would make my friends let me be Flash Gordon. I'd either be Dale Evans or Flash Gordon. And and I was always fascinated by the eye in the sky. I remember Tobar the robot. It was a very crude show because it was back in the 50s, but for some reason. But I studied with in Southampton College because I had a family and I had to go to college there. So, and I took a welding course with Ibram Lassaw, who is a local. He's internationally. Well, he's passed away, but he's like this great sculptor, like from Bill de Kooning, that whole generation. So Ibram was the teacher, and I was his studio assistant, and we started welding things, and it was very serious. Like stuff moved around. It's like stuff moves, but everything was wire because you did welding. And I read this an essay by Miriam Shapiro. It was in the 70s with the feminist art movement, and all of a sudden it was like, wow, I can put like beads on my stuff. And it kind of went from like being very serious to sort of serious to, it just was its own process. I mean, I don't know why anybody does what they do. I always think there's like a TV screen in our head and whatever's in there comes out. And so it just kind of this is like my newer work. It's getting more and more like this. I was going to make dolls, and after making probably like 10 of them, I sort of had enough making dolls, and then if I can show you, they sort of became, which was easier, I don't know how to do this.
Yeah, hold it straight.
Like that?
And tilt it back a little bit.
Like that, okay.
Yeah.
So the dolls got onto paper, and it's, I don't know, it's just, I get very excited when I see like rocket ships on TV for some reason.
Are you ready to take off?
I don't know. Maybe I already have taken off. But it's...
Now, in this one, did you make this doll also?
Yeah, I made the doll.
It is beautiful. And then she's holding
her friend.
A friend from out of space. Oh, let's put this in your lap, and I would like the camera to go on it.
This is her little friend.
Do you have a name for this pretty lady?
Well, I just called them star friends because they have stars on their foreheads, which I do other kinds of work also, but this, it's like outer space, but I'm also on a meditation path since like 1978. I'm on a spiritual path, and we do meditations at the third eye, and so it's like also about inner space. It has two meanings. It's like outer space, but there's also, when you meditate, there's also things inside of us that we see.
Oh,
so it's inner, is it outer space or inner?
What about that little
That's just
space? Is that a child, a space? Yeah.
That's her dolly. That's her dolly, and they're very coordinated.
Oh, you mean? Oh, yes.
I see.
Right. It's the green.
Yes, because I'm
green. That's beautiful.
Well,
who sewed all
I don't remember the person who I finally got to sew. I designed the clothes, and originally my mother did some of I have other dolls that I made.
And someone else did
the
sewing.
Yeah, I just like, I don't want to sew. I used to know how to sew, but it's like I'm not interested in sewing anymore. But I like, you know, the designing part, and because I like to get dressed up, so the girls like to get dressed up too.
I see.
Yeah. Some man who's an artist, a friend of mine, he looked at this newer work and he said, "Oh, girly art," and I thought, "Yep."
Girly art.
So like that's Miriam Shapiro in the 70s. It was very, you know, it was a very meaningful that like women suddenly, you know, started doing things that were more to our, you know, experience.
Yeah, we're coming up in the world, we women.
Yes. Yes, and I still like to shop. So.
So where were you? You were born here in the Hamptons?
No, Queens.
Where is that?
Next to Nassau County, near Green Acres Shopping Center. No.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, Rosedale. But my parents started coming out in the 50s. We didn't own a car back then because you didn't have to. You just got the bus.
Oh.
So we put the poodle and us in taxis, and we took a taxi to Montauk for 4 hours because back then they didn't have the highway. They had no bagels out here and no highway.
Oh, how could people live here? I don't know.
We brought our own bagels with us. That's what we did. And they bought, you know, property in Montauk back then. And I went to school in Queens, but my friends were all here for the weekend. So I've been out here forever, and I've lived here full-time since I'm 18. So,
and this talent that you have, it runs in the family?
Actually, yeah, it does. When I was a teenager, I was in high school, you had to take one art course. And I thought, I'll take that, you know, because I didn't want to take music because I can't sing. So I took this art course, and this teacher said, "Oh, did you ever think about being an artist?" And I thought, "You're nuts, because I'm going to be a Spanish teacher."
Oh, you speak Spanish?
No, I don't. I wish I did because I love the language, but I got married instead of going to college.
Oh,
So I dropped out for years until I went back, and I had to go to Southampton because that was what was here.
yes.
And I had a choice between philosophy or art, and I like decorating my house. So I thought, oh, I'll take art. That's the depth of it.
Well, I thought you were going to say that your mother is an artist, or your father.
Well, my father was very creative, and my mother, she's not an artist, but she's very good. She could be. And my mother's side of the family was, you know, people are very creative.
arts.
And I mean, she used to paint murals. My father would design these things in our basement, and we'd have murals. And so, and my children, like my daughter's a really good photographer, and my son is very good at drawing and painting. And my new grandson, he keeps reaching for the red flowers on the table that I made, and I keep thinking,
Yes.
okay.
And where do they live?
East Hampton.
The whole family is it? Oh, that's nice. You don't have to go far to visit.
No, just down the road. So it's very lucky. So
So you said this is just one of your hobbies. What else do you do?
Well, this is my more serious, if you can believe, this is my serious artwork. I also, I've done furniture, and things have words on them. You know, like I'll redo a piece of furniture, and it'll have a saying on it that has double meanings. Or I also have done, depending on who you are, you can take what you want. And I've done a whole body of paintings that I found in thrift stores. They're collaborations with people who I don't know. And I get them at the thrift store, say, or at an antique store, and then I'll add things and sayings to them. But they don't really leave my house. They're more decorative.
You just keep all your stuff for yourself. You're not in the market to selling any of them.
At the moment, I've actually had more things stolen than I had sold, actually. So people like my stuff, but they seem to, like, you know, not that much, but I've had, like, a few things, like, stolen from art shows and another place. Yeah, somebody once walked away with this probably 20 by 30-inch, this really, I thought, great photograph that I did. It was pink, and it had drawings, and somehow they got it out of this place. I don't know how they did it. And I hope you're enjoying it wherever you are.
By looking at some movies, some people have very devious ways of Maybe they took it out of the frame and they rolled it up and then they put it under the coat.
This was a bit years ago. It was Bay Street. It was a disco then, and the person had an art show up. And I have no idea. They also took my coat. Oh, maybe they put it under my coat and took it while I was out dancing. It was like February.
Oh, that is a good story.
Oh, it's like so funny. It's like, okay. And somebody stole some jewelry from Oshawa Hall when we were in a show then, too. I have no idea. They just like it was a store or something. But it's sort of funny because I'm not a fast worker. I sort of like accumulate bodies of work. And not that I wouldn't sell something, but what I'm doing now is a conceptual piece. It's like a 30-year plan, because we live long in my family so far. I have my great-great-grandfather was 111.
Oh, heavens.
We don't know how wonderful that was. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. He might have had one.
Him?
No.
Not at all?
No,
Not
he's
even
just
in his later years?
No, I think his family was at George Washington's funeral, if you can believe that. This is like one side of my family who came over a long time ago.
You're related to George?
Well, no. Supposedly, my aunt keeps saying, well, we're the Rosses, like in Betsy, but I have no idea.
Then why not? You could say that.
My husband's last name is Mott, like an applesauce, but it's not either. I wish it was.
M-O-T-T, Mott.
Yes, we just have the name, but not the company.
Well, he didn't play his cards right.
I guess not. But so I have this plan. I'm doing Becoming Granny T is my new work. It's a whole conceptual thing, because I do writing. I've done. It's called Granny T, the old white rapper with a W, and I take a picture like every birthday. And those apple head dolls that get more and more shriveled as you let them dry out? My plan is to take a picture of myself like every year as I go along, to see. And but like everything I do at this point, I'm considering my artwork. So like this is part of it. The other thing is like everything's becoming Granny T, because I'm going to need that much time to finish everything because I'm slow. So I just sort of figure this like this. When I'm really old, I'll have this gigantic show, and that's the plan of the moment. So I do, I write some poetry, and
What did you do with the poetry?
I've just really started. There's this my two favorite poets are Milana Rumi, who's a very famous mystical poet, and Dr. Seuss, who I love.
I saw Dr. Seuss's books on the news lately.
Oh, really?
I don't know why.
I always loved it. When I was like 12, I was going to the library and reading Dr. Seuss. So I'm just
Cat in
the
the
hat. Yes.
I remember reading that to my children.
And the Lorax. Do you remember the?
Oh, yes.
My son, who didn't want to go to bed at night. It was the longest book known to mankind by Dr. Seuss, and he'd go, "I want the Lorax tonight," and it's like, and crummies and tummies. I still can remember. So when anybody has a baby now, we get them. My husband and I get them that book for a present. It's like, your turn.
Yeah, it's your turn.
Your turn to be a parent now. So everything is kind of falling into the Granny T piece, because I really like thinking these things up. So so I'm becoming Granny T, and I had this idea like in 2002, and then my daughter had a baby in August, so that was good. So now I'm really Granny T. I'm training them to call me that.
Granny T.
Granny T.
Is your husband an artist too?
No, he's a contractor.
Oh, how very different.
Yes, it's very good that way. Years ago, Margie Caggiano, he used to be a local artist. She was very good. She said to me, "Never marry another artist. Marry somebody who's willing to carry your work for you." And I took it to heart. So.
And what you're telling me, you go to the city, to Manhattan a lot.
No, maybe just now it's only once a month. Not really a lot at all. I don't like to leave town. It's a lot of work.
I feel the same way. I thought maybe you had some business there, or.
We have appointments. We have some doctors. We have friends. Things like But I don't go that often. And when I go, I have to say I like to go shopping. People say, oh, do you see all the galleries? I says, no, I see all the stores with an occasional museum thrown in. I'm very bad that way, but yeah.
So where do you get all this material for your art?
Oh, well, this is...
What is it made out of?
This is called water putty. Like people use it for building. It's a building material, but you can also use it for casting things.
Can you lift it up?
And it's around foam. It's around a foam cord.
Is it heavy?
No.
Yes?
No. Nope. So this is like a piece of foam inside, and it's been coated. And
Can you put it on the table here?
I don't know if it will go up like that. I don't know how big it is. Depends on the.
Watch my gosh, it is big.
Wow.
Wow, it's a masterpiece.
This is kind of simplistic. I would like to do some that are more.
I hope my viewers could see.
Oh, you
all
can't see
this.
the top moving. I'll have to put it down later. And
You can't see the top.
you can just see. You can see inside of it.
And then you get these
That's
wires.
a welding rod, actually.
And this?
That's just a wire that I wind around things.
Oh, you made it like a spring.
Yeah. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And
Wow.
yeah.
And this is glass?
Yes. It
And
is.
does this really roll or just...
Well, it's like it's from a toy store, so it doesn't really. If I was very, I guess you have to get people who know how to do it. It'd be really fun to have it on a remote control and going around.
Yes,
but
kids would love that. Is this plastic or rubber?
probably rubber. It's just from the toy store in Bridgehampton. The wheels from
really?
some truck. Yeah. Yeah. So
This is very ingenious. And then of course you
paint it.
this.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's from the doll supply. The eyeballs come from the doll supply store.
And this is the same material as this?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just water putty. Just kind of
Ah,
glob it on there with a. I don't want to lose my.
okay.
They're supposed to be. I don't know. It's. Some little kid came into my house once and said, "Oh, that's really scary," and I thought, "Good." So.
Did it take you a long time?
Everything takes me a long time.
Well, did it take you a long time to think out what you're going to do?
No, not really. I'm really good at ideas.
Oh, me too.
It's between the idea and the finished product that it's really difficult. It's just like that's the grueling part sometimes, to get to that point. That's what's kind of fun about writing. You can sit in bed with a cup of tea and a pen, and it's easier than something than this. Yeah.
I used to do that, sit in bed and just write. It was just...
What did you write?
Oh, many things I've been writing ever since I'm 8 years old.
Oh. Do you still have your stuff that you've written?
Well, yeah, I have, but I have more of the recent stuff.
I should interview you next week.
Okay.
That would be fun, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I've written up.
Have you read stuff on your show at all? Have you?
No.
Oh.
No, my show is about interviewing. This is an interview type of show. And I find out all the secrets my guests have, and then we're going to tell the whole world.
Well, this is a small town. Everybody already knows. I hate to tell you.
Really? But I hear this show elsewhere, not only here.
If you live in a small town, you have to be willing to have everybody know everything, pretty much.
Yes.
Well, because I'm from Queens, I remember when I first came out here, I couldn't believe that people were that interested, and I would think, why? Why do you care about this? But I just love it out here.
Mm-hmm.
We're actually going to be moving to Sag Harbor hopefully in 5 or 6 years. So that's my most passionate project. I'm designing my end run, I hope, dream house in the woods, because I just love Sag Harbor. And it's going to be like, it's going to be very make-believe looking. I don't know if my neighbors will like me, but I'm sure they will.
Is it going to look like a gingerbread house?
Do you know the oil company in Bridgehampton? As you're driving into Bridgehampton, there's this little teeny place with little swoopy roofs. It's the oil company. It's my favorite house in the Hamptons because it's like the little roofs go like this, and so that's what I'm thinking. Something fun. So that's the most fun.
Are you going to put the bricks by yourself, all the bricks?
I did that when I was younger in my other house. Hopefully we'll never have to do that. I used to do everything. I painted the ceilings where we just moved actually after 32 years around the corner to a house that we're going to sell. We didn't know we were going to move, but we decided to. I still don't know whether it's a good idea or not, but there we are. And my first house, though, everything was painted, the floors, the ceilings. It was like the Sistine, it's like the sky inside. But I'm too old for that now. I'd rather point and have somebody else do it.
So you're just going to tell other people what to do?
I hope so. I really hope so. I occasionally can do a floor, but I'd rather not,
Oh, well, sometimes it pays to have an experienced person to do things, because I just can't. Always remember this one show with Ozzie and Harriet. Did you ever see that?
Oh, yes, of course.
And then he was trying to save money, and he laid the floor in the kitchen, and he was so proud of himself. See, I did this. It didn't cost any money. And about 2 days later, everything was coming up.
Yes, I don't think I'm that bad, but nevertheless, I don't know. I just figure there's only so much time here, and that we're alive, so I better get busy because I'm not very fast. So yeah, it's like.
Well, it's going to be here. And these ideas, you just dream it up, or have you been someplace? Like, you reminded me of in Las Vegas, they have these two hotels joined together, and then they have like a sky, like it goes from day to night, and the cobblestones on the floor.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah.
You have to be very technical. I guess you have to get a lot of help to be able, to do something like that. I'm very technologically challenged. So in a way, it would be, I kind of like the idea of it gives the impression of being, technical or something, or scientific, but it's not. It could be fun to do if you had, I guess just finding people that know how to do that sort of thing that, could do it for you. But I like the idea that it looks like something that it really, or gives you the idea of something that it's not. It's very low tech. So
yeah, you like to do things yourself.
I like to do things myself, but it can change. You never know. Like, I think
don't change.
But as an artist, you have to be
interesting the way you are.
Thank you.
And I have to comment on your jeans, how lovely it is, even with the tear part, the torn part. And I know that's very in.
You have to pay for that. You have to pay a lot of money for this kind of thing. There's a limit if it's too torn where you can practically put your foot through it. I won't buy it. I don't care how in it is. But
yeah.
But yes, it's just like.
It looks like something you would paint.
It's fun. I really liked it. So I've gotten a whole bunch of them. Once you start thinking of something that you're looking for, it's like the god of shopping sets in and it appears. Mm-hmm. Years ago, I remember thinking, I wish I had a full-length pink mink coat, and it turns out it wasn't really mink, it was fake fur, but it was a full-length pink coat, and I thought, maybe I should be asking for more important things than this, But it's funny, it just kind of works like that.
Does the owl represent anything?
No, it's just something
you like.
I like because it goes with my bird. I love clothes. And it just seems as artistic to do your clothes as it does to do this. It's just that people say, oh, this is art and this is your outfit. But it's the same kind of, thinking and
your bracelets.
I have a lot of stuff. I'm very organized. They're in baggies by color code, so that if I'm putting my outfit together quickly, it's just like get the yellow bag out. Because,
Wow.
yeah, because, yes,
They are identical. They look identical.
they are. They are.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so, well, I met you in the store.
That was the funniest thing.
It's very funny.
I was wearing a fur jacket, and then you looked at it. Where did you get that?
I said, that's my coat, isn't it? And that coat came from New York. It made its way from Manhattan, and it was very funny that because it was unmistakable. I mean, I didn't think there's that many of those coats. And I had put it in the dryer so the fur had shrunk up.
Yeah.
So I knew that it was very funny.
It's unique.
It's very unique. So it's
And I ended up with it.
and you had it, which is, and it looked better on you than on me, I have to say.
Well, I just get so many compliments on that every time I put it on. It's so beautiful. And I said, you should look at the back at these designs there. Did you see that? I said, no. It's just it fits me perfectly.
And it's warm.
It's warm.
It's so warm.
And it's very rare when I just buy something and it fits because of my shape. I have everything that I need to alter, but that coat
It was
is
so funny.
just perfect. So thank you for putting it in the dryer.
I think it's like destiny.
Yes.
Because you saw my car. My car is decorated. The top,
Yes.
a Mini Cooper, and the top is. I designed a top, and my friend has a sign company, Ginger, and
What kind of company?
she does signs. She makes signs, but
Signs.
signs. But you could also just make a design, and it spits out from the computer. And then she applied to the top of my car. So you saw that as we were leaving the parking lot.
Yeah.
And you said, oh, and here I am, which is so much fun.
Yes, it is. So finally.
So you like shopping too?
Well, I do. I cannot tell a lie.
Well, good.
I love to shop, and a lot of times I'm asking myself, why did you buy that? Do you really need it?
I never allow anybody to use that word. It's like a very bad word, need. You know,
Why?
because it's supposed to be fun. Shopping is, for people who like to shop, we never use the word need. It's more like, oh, I like that, or this is fun, or I want it.
Well, we're coming to an end. We could probably chat here for hours.
Okay, yes.
So thank you
Well,
for
thank you.
coming on my show.
Thank you for
with
having
all
me.
These creatures with the eyes in the middle.
They're all meditators, that's it.
And I would like to thank everybody who helped me with this show, the crew and the underwriters, etc. And don't forget to tune in again. And I'm saying goodbye like this. I'm waving to the people. Go ahead, wave. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Thank you
See
for
you
watching.
again.